Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with the new September release from Dina Wakley and drawing over some stamped images. So I'm working in my craft journal with a new stamp from the Half Faces set, and I'm stamping directly into my journal. This is one of the things I really love about the craft journal, is that it's a brilliant stamping surface, so you can just stamp straight on and you get a really good impression. I'm now just going in with my Posca paint pen and adding some extra details. So this is something I really love doing with these, particularly half faces. I'm really obsessed with them because you can go in and add some extra details, whether it's the way I've added on some hair, and you've got those lines that you can draw over, which I find really, really handy. Once I've sort of drawn out a sketch of what I want, now I'm going to paint over the top of it. And as is Niamh technique, I tend to use weird and wonderful colours to do this. So I use the primary colours, or a version of the primary colours, in using lemon and magenta, and I think I used turquoise in this one, so a slightly lighter colour than I usually use, to shade my face. So obviously the yellow is the highlighted parts of the face, the pink or the magenta is mid-tones, and then using the blues as my shadows. And I found, for me personally, that this is a really easy way to help control when I'm painting faces. I really struggle when I try and use true skin tones, because I just can't get the mixes right. I just really struggle, and I just prefer my alien girls, so that's where we've ended up, really. I'm using very little paint on my paintbrush as I'm going in. I have gone in with a little bit of darker night colour to just give a bit more of a shadow. So as you can see, I can still see that stamped image underneath really well. Although I am sort of painting over the lines, I know I can go back in and draw over the top, which is what this video is all about. I'm using it as a guide to help me with my painting. Now, if you're really unsure, if you had a stamp press, you could certainly sort of line your image up, stamp it, do all your painting, then stamp it again with your stamp press. I do have one, but I never use it because I've never had much success with it. I'm pretty good at lining things up just by eyeballing it, but to be honest, I've got to a stage now that it really doesn't scare me to get my pen and draw over the top of things. So in the past I probably would have tried to restamp over the top. Now I'll just get my pen and draw over. So each to your own, but the one thing I suppose about this is I'm not being heavy-handed with my paint. As you can see with that green, you can still see clearly the stamped image underneath. By putting the black over, obviously you're getting a more definitive image, I suppose. It really defines it, but you don't have to do that because there's still enough of the original image under there that you can see it quite clearly. So once I've sort of drawn out my little lady, I'm going in with a little bit of the Stabilo Oil Pencil in red, just to add a little bit of colour to her cheek. I'm also going in with her hair with a larger Stabilo. It's called a Stabilo Woody pencil. It's the same as the thinner ones. It's just designed for kids, I think, in a contrasting green colour, so I get sort of some texture in the hair. I also did a little bit of scribbling around the neckline just to give a little bit of depth to that area as well. So don't be afraid to do that. So now I'm just going in. This is the new Peacock gloss spray, and this will give you a good idea of the difference between a sealed page and an unsealed page. So on the right hand side is where I've used the same gloss spray, but it's on a sealed surface. It had gesso underneath, and you can see how blue that is. Whereas on my left hand side where I'm working now, it's going onto an unsealed page, and you can see how green it's gone. And the reason for that is it's soaked into the surface of the craft paper. It's very absorbent. Still works fine, gave me the impression I wanted, so I'm not worried about it. But just, you know, if you actually wanted that true blue colour, perhaps seal your page with clear gesso beforehand, or have some white gesso underneath it so you get the true colour. I decided I wanted just to brighten up my image a little bit, so I've gone back in with the yellow, just to, you can see, give a little bit more brightness to it. I also used some height washi tape just because I like having heights on my figures. I don't know why, it's just something I do. I enjoy that look. Once I'd done that, I wasn't 100% sure if it was finished, so usually how I finish things off, I splatter over them. This is using the new black gloss spray. And again, the same thing, you can see where it's gone into the craft paper, it's absorbed in, so you get more of a grey tone to it. Where it's gone over the painted image, it's staying more black. The good thing about it, if it's gone onto a sealed surface, like I got a big spot near her eye or in her hair, I was able just to dab it up with my wet wipe before I moved it out, before it dried. I did decide I wanted to put a little quote on this. I'm not sure if I was happy with doing it, but it spoke to me at the time. So I just put a little bit of white gesso on my page, just a little bit of brush stroke, and then got an old Dina stamp which says "You Matter," which I just stamped straight onto the page because I felt that she felt to me that she needed to say something. So that's why we've got the "You Matter" there. So you can see here in the close-up, the painted image, how fine or how light that paint is, the scribbles over the top, that brush stroke of gesso. Really, really quick and easy to do. Having half-face stamps are an awesome way to sort of practice drawing your faces and adding extra detail onto your stamped image. Great way to learn how to do face painting as well, or shading of faces, because you don't have to draw the face to begin with. So I hope you have a go. Check out my description box below for extra details, and until next time, bye for now.